Welcome into the DNVR Rockies podcast, brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, a simple $5 bet when you use code DNVR at signup can get you $150 in free bets. All you got to do is pick any winner in this year's NBA playoffs. That's with code DNVR when you sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook. Welcome into the DNVR Rockies podcast. We are all collectively your hosts, Patrick Lyons.
I am Suzie Hunter.
And I'm Brendan Vogt.
And the Colorado Rockies do not have a 12-game losing streak.
Let's go.
The San Fransisco Giants. No, they've got a 1-game winning streak. I can't even remember the last time the Rockies didn't beat the San Francisco Giants. That's how long the streak has been going on. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, have to check Baseball Reference, the game logs.
It's been months. It's been a really long time coming. And even though this was just one win at the end of a series that we lost, it felt like a really big win.
It was a really big win, especially when you go back to the last 2 days where the Rockies seemed like they were out of it. And then they ended up coming back and making it interesting and close. Of course, they lost by 1 run on Monday in a 7-6 loss. Tuesday, 10-7, but they did have the tying run come to the plate with a big surge there late in the ball game. And then on Wednesday, it finally all came together once Logan Webb got out of the picture. Oof. He kept the Rockies hitless from the 2nd through the 8th inning until Connor Joe got it started off on that big rally. How clutch was that hit right there?
Just incredible. So needed. And of course, like this series, we've seen so many rallies, so many late inning rallies. So it was nice that this had the follow through.
Yeah, and just a situation where he just has to get on base, get something started. Much easier said than done coming off the bench cold. But there was a poetic element to how the Rockies ended up getting that run, manufacturing one against a team who does that type of stuff as well as anyone, and had been the difference in that game up until that point. That Yastrzemski inning, he hustles, turns it into a double, 2 sac flies, score him. So Joe gets on base, you get a bunt, you just end up getting some productive outs and get a run across. So really clutch from Connor Joe, who's been one of the very bright spots of the season. But also you just love to see a productive, a manufactured inning from the Rockies when they really needed one. And then they get rewarded, of course.
Yeah, a lot to break down in that, because for anyone who thinks Bud Black could be somehow doing a better job with this current roster, he's the guy who says, look, rookie, I know that's your first game. I know you have all of 2 at-bats here as a big leaguer. Sorry, Brian, but we need you to take a seat, because our leadoff hitter, Connor Joe, needs to come up, does that. And as you said, Charlie Blackmon advances him over on a bunt, not because Bud Black had called for it, but he did say after the game that was Charlie's decision to do, was bunting for a hit. We've actually seen him do that a couple times. We've seen Ryan McMahon even do that. He said that both McMahon and Blackmon and Sam Hilliard have all been working on trying to lay down some bunts from the left side with the shift there. You had Jonathan Daza with the game-tying RBI single, which extended his hit streak to 10 games, longest active hit streak in all of MLB.
That's
and
awesome.
Then CJ Cron, our DraftKings Sportsbook king of the game, hits the monstrous 2-run home run there to give the Rockies the go-ahead lead, 5-3, 454-foot blast to left field. That was huge. That was the turning point. Tossed his bat right away. He knew it. Looked into the dugout. Let's go. How hyped did that get everybody?
I think I said this in the group chat that we have going, but I felt like my heart stopped when I heard that ball hit CJ Cron's bat, and he knew it was a home run right away too. And it was such a great moment. I was like, oh, we have this game. This is fantastic.
Nice little treat, nice little reward, right? Obviously we talk about you manufacture that run, you put yourself in a position to pick up that run. Then the baseball gods seem to go, okay, well, here you go. You approached it the right way. Now you can have that sweet home run. And with CJ, man, as aesthetically pleasing as it gets, those home runs. And when he gets it. And that was not a altitude home run. That was a home run in any stadium in any part of the universe. Good to see CJ mashing.
We could say that would dong 30 out of 30.
That's
no
right.
doubt. Yeah,
That's
he's
right.
got a lot at 450 or more. And yeah, we're not seeing altitude aided home runs here anymore right now, especially with the baseballs that are currently out there. It's been the guys that hit the ball very hard and very deep, very long, that those balls are still kind of riding true. But anything in between really isn't having the carry that it normally does. He's got 10 home runs now, the most in all of the National League, and did say post game that if he goes a day without a home run, that's too long. He loves homers. How great that, again, it's fantastic quote.
I loved hearing him say that. He was like, because I think someone asked him, it's been a while. He's like, it's always a while. If I go a day, it's too long. So I'm just like, I love that energy, love that mentality. It's a great bit.
Yeah, he's was 6 for 13 against San Francisco, 5 runs, 5 RBI. Ryan McMahon also had a really good series. If you toss out the big error on Monday night, he was 6 for 13 with a homer, 3 runs, 4 RBI. Daza played really well. Grichuk got a handful of hits there. So again, they only take 1 out of 3 from San Francisco, an improvement from when they were on the road last week, and they did get swept. And so, they have a little bit of momentum, and we'll see when that will carry them into the next game, because we may have snow on Friday, because why not? It's 80 degrees today. In 2 days, we should have snow.
Denver's wild. This is my first spring here. So I'm like, oh, wait, the weather really is absolutely insane.
The spring, you can't possibly dress appropriately. You got it right in the morning, then you're wrong by noon, and then you're dead wrong by the evening. So good luck with that, Suzie.
Yeah, when
thank you. It's every season, every day.
When they say spring has sprung, well, we know what the word sprung means, and it certainly has that effect here in Colorado. Let's talk about Kyle Freeland here for a second. He did end up going 6 innings, got a quality start, 3 earned runs against the Giants club that, despite the fact that they don't really have any household names, Brandon Crawford's been around for a while. Cool. He's got a couple all-star appearances under his belt. Brandon Belt himself, is one of those guys. And yeah, we know the last name Yastrzemski, but for the most part, these are kind of a bunch of lunch pail guys, including a guy like Darren Ruff. And so for Freeland to have that quality start was fantastic. 8 strikeouts, a season high. And again, doing it in this ballpark and doing it with a guy making his major league debut behind the plate also made it, all the more nicer to get the 5-3 win on Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, I liked what Kyle Freeland had to say about Brian Serven's debut. He was like, we've all caught with him at spring training, but he loves, he liked what he did back there, and really liked that he likes to learn. I like great qualities.
Yeah, he was picking Freeland's brain.
Freeland battled today. This was not an easy start. I think he fell behind early and often. Was it a couple walks he finished with, 2 or 3? But he looked uncomfortable with the breaking stuff to start. But he worked his way out of some early jams. Then you start to see the slider come around, mix the curveball in there a little bit, but he was getting swings and misses with the slider by the end. So he really had to battle to keep this to a quality start. But it was one. And he left the Rockies in a position to win this game. I'm sure there's several ABs he'd like back. Probably pitched with a 3-ball count one too many times. But in the end was able to minimize the damage. Just as we talked about earlier, the Giants and those lunch pail guys, they're just so good at turning what could be a 0-run inning into a 1-run inning. They don't give you any breaks,
As you put it, Bud Black said almost the exact same thing, that Freeland pitched with heart and grit today. And he absolutely did. 2 runs in the second inning. And after that, he settled in nicely, did give up a run in the 4th. But to your point, Vogt, did give up a leadoff double to Tyro Estrada. We'll talk about that double. Kind of a ground rule double, kind of a foul ball double, kind of a interference double. It's a lot. We'll break that down in a second, but goes back and immediately gets a strikeout looking of Joseph Bartholomew, a.k.a. Joey Bart, gets a pop-up out of Mike Yastrzemski and then strikes out AC Slater. So, a real cast of characters that he was able to get out in a row there in a really big way. So you like what Freeland was able to do, even though you say, well, quality starts a 4.50 ERA, you won the game. And against this team, a 4.50 ERA should be commended.
Right. Yeah, left him in a position to win the game, and that's that's all you're hoping for.
Suzie, I know you were pumped up for Serven's debut. I mean, everybody loves debuts. Bud Black says that's one of his favorite things. I talked to Garrett Hampson, particularly Hampson, is because Garrett Hampson, and this is more of an inside joke between Hampy and Serven, Hampson took Brian Serven's brother's position at Long Beach State. So Jonathan Serven was in the ballpark and went to Long Beach State. When Hampson went there, kind of took Serven's, Jonathan's spot. And so they kind of have that connection. But, Suzie, you were there for it, and you knew him back in Hartford days. And so I know you really appreciated seeing Serven out there making his major league debut as the 56th proper catcher in Rockies history.
56th proper catcher, and also the 41st Hartford yard goat to make it to the majors. So super excited for him. I met him years ago back when he was in Hartford. Just the nicest guy, such a character. And I thought he did a great job. I'm super stoked to see him here.
And Suzie, I know later on this week, you're going to run down your rankings of all 41 yard goats, but as a little bit of a teaser, can you just give us numbers 35 through 41 of your favorite? I'm kidding. I'm putting you on the spot here. Vogt's like, oh, damn. All right. This is interesting content here.
Yeah.
These guys
you
can improvise.
I was just like, we'll do a weekly countdown where I break down all 41 yard goats who have appeared.
Yency Almonte, maybe he's going to be in the 30s, particularly since he pitches for the LA Dodgers right now. Nice guy, but you know what?
Yency Almonte threw a pitch between Odubel Herrera's legs the other night. So I love that kind of nonsense. Yency's also a personality I like. I am excited to see him back here when the Dodgers are back here.
We like a good nutmeg when the pitcher is pitching, or when a soccer player is soccering, or when an ice hockeyer is ice hockeying. And you can watch all of that and more down on the corner of Colfax and York.
Nice.
The DNVR bar. Thank you. Remember, your membership to the DNVR.com, now only 50 cents for your first month, gets you a member-sized beer, a.k.a. a mega pint. Get you price breaks on the tailgates that we have for Broncos, the other teams, the party buses that we got going on. And if you're ready to go all in, your annual membership will actually come with a free shirt from DNVRlocker.com. You get extra raffle tickets at all of our watch parties, so you can win some of our awesome free gear, access to our members only Discord where it gets popping off about not just our favorite sports teams, but other extracurricular activities we may have. And you can meet everybody in and around our community that we've got. Again, only 50 cents right now for your first month at thednvr.com. And look, if it's not enough to be able to watch the Nuggets and Avalanche from the comfort of your own living room, which you can now do with Evoca TV, check them out at evoca.tv/DNVR. But all of us are now going to be right there on your couch. You're going to be on your couch. We're going to be on your television on Evoca TV. Go to evoca.tv/DNVR. And for only $25 per month plus a receiver, your price gets locked in for 2 years. You don't have to worry about contracts or anything like that. Never worry again. You will get your Nuggets. You will get your Avalanche. You'll also get the Rockies. You'll also get CSU Rams, Denver Pioneers, Rapids, Mammoth, and all of our DNVR personalities. We're doing our thing up and down the Rocky Mountain region. You can tap into this. evoca.tv/DNVR. And also on top of that, use code DNVR because you're going to get another $10 off your first 3 months. So it's $15 now to start for the first 3 months. We're trying to make it as easy as possible for you.
It's a good deal. It's a good deal, man.
It is. And when you're down at the DNVR bar and you get that member-sized beer, hey, the Avalanche Ale is the one to go with right now because Breckenridge Brewery, the hometown craft beer for your Colorado Avalanche, they're celebrating this historic winning season with people who've supported us and this community through such a challenging year by giving away Avs tickets to a pair of community stars each home game during the playoffs. This includes the Stanley Cup Finals. Yes. All you got to do is nominate a stellar community member that you know, someone who's an Avs fan who should get the chance to celebrate at a playoff game this season. Each home game, they're going to hook up a fan and a friend with tickets, gears to match, of course, and the drink of the season, Breckenridge Brewery's Avalanche Ale. Also, a portion of all proceeds of sales of Avalanche Ale through the playoffs to the community fund Boulder County to benefit Marshall Fire victims. They're going to go ahead and donate that. It's fantastic. Visit them at breckbrew.com to nominate a community star and send them to the Avs playoff games. Suzie, let's talk more about Mr. Brian Serven because
Yes.
it was nice. Second debut so far this season after Helihuris Montero's one-game appearance. He did get a hit in his first at-bat. Did have 2 hits, but maybe even more rare than that was what happened to Brian Serven on his first pitch.
So his first pitch, he fouled and it came back and it was so close to my side of the press box. And we were just like, oh, wow. Like, it was very startling. But that ball actually landed very close to Brian Serven's family. So they didn't necessarily catch the ball, but they were able to see the people who did and make a trade. So now they have that ball. So they have the first ball he's ever made contact with in the majors. I love that. Has that even happened before? It's just incredible.
Brendan, I know you're obviously you're a big baseball fan. That's why you're here on the show. But I don't know if you know this answer or if you can come close. How many Major League Baseball players do you think have played in the history of MLB?
Oh God! Oh, you're putting.
Let's see if you can throw a number out.
Don't do it. Don't do that to me.
I would be very curious because I think it's such an abstract question that I think before I kind of had it committed to memory. Essentially,
yeah.
I don't know. I probably would have been off by thousands, tens of thousands, perhaps.
Yeah. I don't have a number. I don't have that one committed to memory. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to embarrass.
You're not even going to just throw a number out?
No, I'm not. I'm going to make you tell me.
I would love a range because I don't think a lot of people do know. So it's certainly no.
I do not.
No shame in the game. All right, I'm not having fun today. All right, let's get serious then. No, Brian Serven, I believe almost exactly because yesterday there were a couple debuts on May 17th, and player was the 22,660th to debut, which means Serven is 22,661. And this is kind of notable because there are some players who will get their number tattooed on their body for, the number of player that they were, which has changed in the last couple of years because the Major League Baseball has added the Negro Leagues as part of Major League Baseball. So that added like 2,000 players, which means
crossed out and then a new number.
Yeah, kind of like that's a legit thing that has happened. So to put that in perspective, and that's what's interesting is I'm not exactly sure what the capacity is at Ball Arena, but it's pretty close to that. Or you could certainly say the lower bowl of Coors Field. And when you put it in that perspective, you go, it's both a lot of players and not a lot simultaneously. It's just an interesting number, 22,000 plus.
When I'm looking out at Coors Field right now, it's like, oh yeah, that's not that many people in the grand scheme of things. It kind of gives me the chills to think about it.
I mean, it's insane. It's insane. It's right. Like the baseball records are so fun when you start getting to, the best of the best, because just the math game of just, it can still be the very most competitive league in the world. And enough guys can have played that you get to a number that big. To say you're one of X players to have accomplished any feat is truly remarkable. And every debut is special. They really are. This one was fun. I stood up and clapped for a productive out in my living room. I was like, we'll take it. Move the runner over. Not bad. And here's the other thing I think, Suzie. That story is going to get telephoned really hard. And people are just going to say that he fouled it straight to his family, that his dad caught it with one hand. And I think that's the story we should run with, because how can you not be romantic about baseball?
I think that process has already started on Twitter, because I think there are people who do think that is how it panned out. So the game has already started. But you know what? No matter what, a really special day.
I mean, we should contribute to this and also point out that his father was holding a baby, his grandchild, as well as a beer and helmet nachos, and still barehanded it.
Yeah, it was really
and caught it in his mouth.
Absolutely. Why not?
Urban legend, a great Denver urban legend about the Serven family and Brian's first at-bat.
You need to steer into the skid, right? I think that's what they say. Couple updates on a few injured folks. Chris Bryant, we know, went 1 for 3 in Salt Lake City on Tuesday night. Bud Black said, of course, he's going to be DHing today on Wednesday as we record this. And he's fully expected to join the team on Friday. He'll be in the starting lineup. Will he be in left field? Will he be the DH? Don't know. But to make room for that, Rockies have already optioned Ashton Godot back to AAA. So they're going to go with a 4-man bench and go with one less reliever, which, makes it harder to imagine Ty Block getting that start on Sunday for Antonio Senzatella. So we'll see what happens. Maybe this will be temporary and somebody else will come up. Also, there's if this game on Friday gets rained or snowed out, there'll be a doubleheader, and then you can add a 27th man. And so maybe that becomes Ryan Feltner. So this could be some interesting strategy on the roster going forward. But I mean, Brendan, they get the win today, but I'm curious from your take. I know how Suzie feels a little bit. Do you think this is going to be a big injection of life to the lineup, to the clubhouse, everything to get Chris Bryant back for the first time since April 25th?
I mean, it's possible. That's why, one of the many reasons you love this win today, like the Rockies get home and neither of these series go as planned, but the bats do wake up, right? You start putting runs back on the board again. Freeland wasn't great, but wasn't horrible, right? So like a quality start. So you're feeling like, okay, there's something here. There's life to the lineup. And you start thinking about like the Rockies are one of the top teams in the league right now in producing quality starts. And they're one of the only teams in that category, in the top of that category, that have a below 500 record. I actually think they're the only. So part of that, like these little consequential moments, runners in scoring position where all that guy you doled out all that money to, just a couple more swings that go your favor when it's his turn to cash in and runners in scoring position, when it's his turn to make something out of nothing against a pitcher who has his stuff. You just need that guy. Baseball is a team sport, but to have that guy that swings those little scenarios in your favor, it's what you pay all that money for. So this should be a jolt. Absolutely.
And I think despite the fact that he didn't hit a home run in that 2.5 week span right there at the beginning of the season, despite that, I think they were pitching around him. Like he very much said, okay, let's let the next guy in the line.
Right.
As Bill Schmidt said, we're all pulling the rope in the same direction. So it's very, very selfless AB. And so I'll get on base and let the guy behind me do it. So you might look at his stats and go like, oh man, what are they paying this guy for? Where they're paying him to get on base, clog the, get some traffic out there on the bases and let everybody behind them do their job,
Right.
Apply pressure to the opposing starting pitcher, get into the bullpen, do all that stuff. And so Rockies will benefit from that greatly here. What should be on Friday if that game does go down.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully by this weekend, but the Rockies were doing much better with Chris Bryant. So I would like to see him back sooner rather than later.
And we can't wait to see Kelsey Wingert back. She did post on social media. That was pretty brutal there on Monday night. Foul ball came over, just got over the railing a little bit. Caught her on the head, and again on social media, has a nice little bruise to show for it, but seems to be in real good spirits. And as she does, as one of those positive people out there in the world, hey, just really thankful to have everybody look after the way they did, and have everybody in our DNVR community and the Rockies community send positive love and good vibes her way. And so it's good she's making a recovery, but really scary moment there on Monday night.
That was so scary on Monday. And I'm so glad that it wasn't worse, because that could have gone much differently. But considering, everything that happened, she seems like she's doing okay. She's recovering. And I was really happy to hear that her AT&T Sportsnet family really took care of her. So I love to see that. But yeah, she's recovering. And she's got some stitches, but I hope she's okay very soon.
Scar is gnarly. You're just thinking like could not have been any more square on. You're just so grateful. Things are relatively okay. Of course, you hate to have to see it happen in the first place, but yeah, that was a huge relief. Huge relief.
Suzie, you pointed this out, and we didn't get to it at all in the podcast. And again, Kelsey's okay, and not to take away and jump off that, but Daniel Bard in that moment, he was on the hill when that happened, and he seemed very calm. But again, you can look a certain way and have something else going on behind the scenes. We know that with people who try to present themselves as being responsible, respectable, and then behind the scenes they're doing other nefarious things, to say the least. But he was on the hill, and then gives up those runs there and blows that lead. And you go, how much did that have an impact? We'll never know. But bottom line, it is really great that she's recovering and getting back. We can't wait for her to get back to the ballpark as well.
Yeah, game days are a lot more fun with Kelsey around. She is just an absolute delight. So Just, yeah, hoping she gets better so soon because we miss her.
There were a lot of weird things that kind of went down today. Not necessarily all weekend. It felt weirder than I thought. I went back and kind of went through the mental Rolodex. I was like, I guess the whole weekend wasn't weird, but then it certainly got weird, especially with what started on before the game. And we, Suzie, I don't think you saw it, and
No.
I know I didn't see it firsthand. I only saw it on social media. So Brendan, let's go with you first. There, what was your take on what transpired before the game? Are you aware of what I'm talking about?
I am not.
All right, Suzie, break it down. As
All
much as we
right.
do know.
So before the game, a fan with some kind of wire cutters or maybe pruning shears, some big landscaping tool, was on the field before the game, and security kind of had to like wrestle this tool out of his hands, and they escorted him out, and it was wild. I don't know how he got in. I don't know how he got to the field. I mean, it's not like he, dressed as a groundskeeper and was wearing like a polo shirt or something. Like he was just wearing like a white t-shirt, whatever pants. So I was like, I don't know how he got in here. I don't know how this happened, but it was quite a scene before the game.
That's crazy. What I always wonder what inspires these decisions. I do.
I did hear that this person was not mentally stable, so that very much could have something to do with it. But also, there are just regular people. I mean, again, if you watch a lot of Phillies games enough, they love running down on that field and getting wild and requesting to not be tased, bro. So, yeah, it doesn't happen as much in basketball. I think after the that incident circa 2004 in Detroit, fans don't really get on a basketball court, do they, Brendan?
It's funny you bring that up. You are correct. Until this year, there were like 4 straight protests at the Timberwolves playoff games. Glenn Taylor and I'm actually not super familiar, something to do with animal abuse, but one woman tried to super glue herself to the floor by her hand, which is really not how like glue works. I mean, she was just kind of finger painting on the floor. Another woman chained herself to the stanchion, and then a third woman made a break for it from row 1 during a stoppage, but security was hawking her. And he speared her before she could reach midcourt. So.
Wow.
Is like Minnesota have like a pet Timberwolf that they run around the court like Ralphie and CU?
They should.
I guess I don't understand the connection there.
I don't know, but it was really bizarre. But recently, it's been a thing again, I guess.
Yeah, after the pandemic, people don't know how to behave again, so we're seeing that. I actually haven't seen too many fights in the stands, like maybe not more than normal. Is that true? I mean, maybe we might be past due again. People do not know how to behave right now.
That's true. I do wonder how much this stuff gets overstated. Like we're in the commentary on everything era, I have a gut feeling fans have been fans in arena in largely the same way for a long time. But it's hard for anything to just sort of be an isolated moment. Now, if it happens, it also happens online. Where people like us spend all of our time.
All of my time.
All of my
time. We did have a fight in the stands at Coors Field a couple of games ago.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Was there video from that? I don't remember if there was.
It's on my favorite Twitter account, MLB Fight Club.
Oh, is sponsored by MLB, and no.
Yeah, that's right.
not quite. But then, so that happened all down in left field with the fan, and then later on in that 6th inning, as we talked about before with Kyle Freeland getting out of that jam with the double. Well, Thairo Estrada hit a ball down the line, and umpire called it fair. Ryan McMahon put his glove to his head, like, "Oh my God, that so clearly was not a fair ball." And did a good enough job of selling it that the ball person down the left field line decided, here, let me pick this ball up and just give it to a fan. And oh no! And so we've got that moment captured. I feel bad for this person, but
so bad.
You can see it. You can see that reaction going in 4 parts here. So Kale, I think K to the SO has got that queued up for us. Sam goes over and says, hey, I was going to make a play on that, because that was kind of a fair ball. And then,
oh no.
my training told me I'm not supposed to touch fair balls. I touch foul balls. Oh God. Sam's like, yeah. He walks away and he's like, all right, let me just sit back down for another 2.5 more innings and worry if I need to get employment elsewhere. I don't think this person will be fired. That's not the way the Rockies go. Honest mistake, no harm, no foul. If anything, that ball could have potentially have been a triple. So
I know.
Not because it was going to get in the corner, it just would have caromed off a little bit, and Hilliard would have had a hard time getting to it. So, if anything, he's not going to be fired. He's not going to get a raise, but we'll be able to laugh about it, I think, at least.
Oh, I feel for him, though, because he just looks absolutely mortified.
Oh.
I feel so bad because, an honest mistake.
Oh, I mean, that's the heartbreak. That's just the number one thing you don't want to do in that position right there. And in our man's defense, 50-50 call even feels generous. So, I mean, you can't touch it in a close play like that, but no harm, no foul in the end, right? I really think that's true, but
100%.
That's just the embarrassment right there coursing through. That guy, that's a baseball man right there, and you know that he knows better. Tough feeling, tough to watch.
And why does he have only one ear flap? That's what I want to know. He only has the right side, so if there's a screaming liner, he's got to go profile only to the left. And if he goes right,
that's a good point.
He's going to lose hearing in that eardrum. His cochlea is going to get blown out.
What is the point of the single flap in that context? That's a good question.
I don't know at all. Not too many Rockies in history have ever gone with the double ear flaps. Like Mark Bellhorn might have been one of the only ones. It's a look you don't really see. You rarely see a double ear flap.
That's true.
Even more rare than the gloveless. I almost said fingerless gloves, but no. If you're just going barehanded,
that would be a look. Fingerless batting gloves. Who will start the trend?
I don't know what the benefit would be to that. If anything, you would want to go the opposite. You'd want to go with like the Lady Gaga driving gloves. You just want the fingers.
Palmless, just finger pop sockets. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. No, if you had fingerless batting gloves though, then you could still text with your batting gloves on.
That's important. That's really important.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Very good. And if your mind is going in all kinds of weird corners because you're a little bit sleep deprived and you're thinking these are really good ideas, you may want to check out Wana Optimal's Fast Asleep Gummies because they're going to leave you feeling a lot more rested, a lot more refreshed in the morning. And it's not like one of those over-the-counter drugs, powerful drugs. It's going to leave you in a fog and knock you out. You don't want that. Lightshade, Colorado's premier dispensary, has a solution. As I said, it's Wana Optimal's Fast Asleep Gummies. My parents use it all the time. They feel great. It's got a perfect formula of 10 milligrams of CBD with just that hint of THC. That's going to have your eyelids feeling heavy in just 5 to 15 minutes and in 0 minutes. So right now, you can order Wana Optimal's Fast Asleep Gummies at lightshade.com and get 25% off with code DNVR. Use code DNVR at any of Lightshade's 11 Denver metro area locations. Well, let's have some fun. Brian Serven had some fun making his major league debut. Suzie and we had some fun. Brendan, I don't know if you want to get in on this, but we had some good puns. Brian Serven. Okay, that word sounds like other words. I don't know. We're gonna serve up a couple puns here, I think.
Oh God.
We are serving up some puns.
Oh God.
Is this the punniest team the Rockies have had? Because we just have so much to work with this season.
Yeah, we're inspired by Thomas Harding because Thomas he gets wild when it comes to the bad jokes.
He knows how to throw down a pun. I'll tell you that.
He does. Suzie, I think you should just run down the list of all of them. I don't know if there's any way to just seamlessly run through all of our puns, but we will say this. So, Brendan, do you know what number Brian Serven wears?
Oh gosh, I should because I just watched the game, but no, I don't. All
right. So I actually talked with the clubhouse coordinator about his numbers, and we'll talk about that on another podcast, how those get selected. But Brian Serven wears the number 6 because Serven 8-9.
Oh my God.
But he does wear number 6 though.
I told that joke to Jenny Kavnar yesterday, and she was like, that is the worst joke I've ever heard. It was fantastic.
Did it make the broadcast? Do we know? I guess maybe not.
I don't think so.
Oh, God. This is going to be a tough segment for me. I'm buckling up. You guys do your worst.
Settle in. All right. So I love that joke. Hey, Patrick, what is Brian Serven's favorite Zac Efron movie?
Baywatch? I don't know.
Oh, I know this one.
What is it?
Again.
Oh, God. That's peak Suzie right there. That's peak Suzie.
But in all seriousness, he does have a favorite movie. It was a Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman vehicle. Do you remember it from the late 90s?
Serven?
That's it.
Serven? Yeah.
Very good.
Good film.
Man.
Good film.
Yes.
Dark film. My mom walked out of Serven. She couldn't handle it.
No. Kevin Spacey had this backdoor slider that was really
good luck landing that one.
Yeah, no, that was. But Suzie, did you hear Bud Black was talking about Double-A relief pitcher Riley Pint? Gosh, that would be pretty wild if he got called up to the majors.
Yeah, because we would have Serven and a pint, so we would be serving up pints here at Coors Field.
Okay, let's get down to something a little more serious. Tombstones. So
wait, hang on. I just want to circle back. This is not how jokes work because I missed the window. But there's a what's in the box joke with Serven. Probably, is it get in the box? Get back in the box. That works, right? There's something there.
Okay.
There's something there.
We're going to workip this. We're going to figure this out.
I'll learn this one eventually.
Yeah. Logan Webb has the upper hand. Okay. Nice.
Okay.
You really got to know that film. I love that movie. It was great. It's a fun film. All right. So Suzie had doing a great job on our Twitter account at DNVR_Rockies. And yeah, unfortunately, the Rockies season, man, it's barely just started. We're not even at the quarter post at this point. So we're not even 25% through. But their hot start, they were 10-5 at one point. They were, had the best record in baseball. Their first place in the NL West. It's officially dead. So
yep, I declared the hot start dead. Some people have debated me on whether or not the hot start had been dead already. But when we dipped below 500, I declared the hot start dead. So I made a tombstone. And people seem to really like it. We got a lot of really great feedback on it. So we decided, you know what? Let's take this show in a really morbid direction. Perfect. And make some tombstones of our own and see if we can all figure out who the tombstone is about. We're not doing real people, and so no real people. It's all inanimate. Maybe they're mascots, maybe they're places, maybe they're features.
Do we want to have our own tombstones?
And I don't count us as real people, so.
Good call.
Yeah,
Good
that's
call.
true.
I feel less and less like one each day.
All right, on this first tombstone, it says, loved mountain views, Rockies baseball, and being trampled on by thousands.
Very dark stuff.
Yeah. That would
Do we have that tombstone? Do we have a picture of it? There it is.
That would be none other than the rooftop.
Oh.
Here at Coors Field. Birthed in 2013, and it's going to die in 2047. That's roughly when the lease on Coors Field is up. No, we hope that's not the case.
Ooh,
okay, but the date of death is important here. Also,
I thought that was a climate change timeline, but now I see.
I mean, it also could be. Who knows if we'll still have an Earth to house Coors Field in 2047?
Could make it hard to play.
I did take a class on like apocalypse in college. It was about the millennium, I think, or something. And it's basically how like every civilization or every generation has thought that the world was going to end in their time, and it hasn't. Yeah. Ergo, yeah, it's fine.
So
it's not fine. It's not fine. But you know what I'm saying? It's not going to end.
Hands off the wheel. What's the worst that could happen?
Jesus, take the wheel.
That's it. It's another Brad Pitt movie reference from something there. All right.
I was referencing Carrie Underwood. Okay.
I think Brendan was going for more of a Fight Club there. No, maybe?
I actually was also going Carrie Underwood, but good guess, Patrick.
Right,
I think Carrie Underwood is the most famous person to say, Jesus, take the wheel.
Next tombstone says, best known for being pointless and nearly killing Daniel Murphy.
Oh!
The tooth trot.
The tooth trot.
Did either of you care for this at all? Did you hate it?
I live for a mascot race. So I love that the Tooth Trot existed, and I think that Coors Field would be better with the Tooth Trot or any mascot race of any type.
Whoa. Wait, those are two different things. Go ahead, Vogt.
I sat with a family at a Rockies game recently who had a 4-year-old daughter, and they said she only comes to the games to watch the Tooth Trot.
Oh,
and
no.
That's the main attraction. She's young. So, but I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say I'm not a fan.
I would rather have the Tooth Trot than no mascot race.
You know what? When you put it like that, it does get harder to disagree with you, Suzie. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's dumb, and you go, but every time it would go, we would watch, we would speculate. I mean, if you can get John Boy in one of those costumes and have him fall down and eat some dirt like he did in Milwaukee, that's always fun and entertaining to see.
I think our friends at DraftKings should just get involved too. Like, I want lines on my Tooth Trots and mascot races.
Now,
what are we doing here? Yeah, we need that. We absolutely need that.
And you know what? If the Rockies aren't listening to us, and we do know that they listen, if they aren't listening to us, we need to bring back our own Tooth Trot at the bar with Fresh, the toothpaste, Bristles, the toothbrush, and Toothy, the tooth. We'll bring it back to the DNVR bar with Green Mountain Dental Group as our sponsor. We will do it if we need to.
Yes. Are you transitioning into a read or not today?
Nope. That was a free.
That's a free one. That's free, Green Mountain. You're welcome.
And one.
You're welcome.
That's called an and one. All right. This next tombstone says, "Filled fans with delight from parts unknown."
Ooh, mysterious. Who could it be? Hot dog.
Oh, from parts unknown.
Yeah. Apparently, the hot dog was invented in 1484 in Frankfurt, Germany. I mean, that's why it's called the Frankfurter, right?
Huh. I wouldn't have known.
And I imagine in 150 years, all the different animals and parts, the hooves and snouts, as we like to say, we've got 150 more years of hooves and snouts to make those hot dogs. So 2172, that's my prediction of when this stops.
Wow, it's so dark. So dark. I thought you were going with that's how long it takes a hot dog to break down. Also
true and disgusting.
Could be. It depends on your interpretation of that one. Love a good hot dog. Today was Dollar Hot Dog Day. Do you partake at all, Brendan? When you go, if you were there at Dollar Hot Dog Day, would you really like cash in on that bad boy or what?
I've told you guys this before. I'm a one hot dog guy. One hot dog at a baseball park.
Listen for once. Put it in a spreadsheet.
Come on, Patrick. Come on.
I can't. It just doesn't make sense, especially when it's $1. What a buy! I mean, you've got like meals for the next 3 days.
I've never not felt sick after a second hot dog. It is a 100% sick rate. So I cut myself off at one. But a beer and a hot dog at a ballpark is a perfect experience. I concede that.
When you feel sick, that's when you know you did it right.
That's
hot dogs from the Hot Dog Council of Colorado. All right, this next one, this last fake one before we do our tombstones, says loved, hated, never counterclockwise. It's the wave.
Oh.
Yes. It was apparently invented, where we're going to give it credit, October 15th, 1891, and it died, not soon enough.
Who's the asshole who did that in 1981?
So that a-hole would have been Crazy George Henderson at an Oakland game. It was a playoff game. It was actually televised between the A's and the Yankees. Washington Huskies have claimed to have invented it. Now, I've got this book. It's I think it's called Shots Book of Sports Miscellany. There's like a series of books of miscellany. It just has all these like dumb little fun facts, things that I love. And it was called it's also called the Mexican wave. So when we see the wave, it's also referred to as the Mexican wave. And I never knew why until I took 4 seconds of research for this show. And it was because, although, the first time we saw it was in 1981, it was because in the World Cup in Mexico City in 1986 was when people really started to see it internationally go around and go, oh, wow, this is a thing. boom, you started to see it in American football soon after. So it kind of also has that name, the Mexican Wave.
I've
from, the
never
World Cup.
heard anyone call it the Mexican Wave. Not once in my
Not
life.
once in my life. I'm with Suzie on that one.
Not once.
Yeah.
And
I
also,
also
you know
haven't
what?
heard it.
It's
I've only
the
read it.
American wave. We need to get back to American manufacturing of weird sports things. Let's go.
You took it in the exact opposite direction that I thought we were going in. Dude, I don't know, man. I used to love the Wave when I was a kid. I was that kid that would try to get the section going from like ages 11 to
Adorable.
now. No, from ages 11 to, maybe 16, I would try to get it going. Then it was like, no, let's watch the game. Let's focus in on it. Now I'm like, you know what? Let's have a good time at the game. It's all right. We've been through a lot.
Well, you know my stance on the Wave. I was anti-Wave before the pandemic, but when sports came back, I was like, you know what? You didn't get to go to a game for like a year, maybe 2 years. If you want to do the Wave, do the Wave.
Yeah,
do whatever
right,
makes
fair
you
enough.
happy. Brandon, where do you stand on the Wave? This is important information.
Not a big fan. It's fairly big in basketball. Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, once put out a memo to his to everyone that worked for the organization and said, if you are caught doing the Wave at a Dallas Mavericks game, you will be fired. That's
I didn't
real.
know.
That's real. Too harsh or no? What say you, Patrick?
That's too harsh. First of all, how can you enforce that?
They've got a lot of cameras because they're very big up on the advanced analytic tracking data. So in my mind, Mark Cuban is personally just combing through film. Like, that's a team employee. Get him out of here. He takes it very seriously, apparently. So
That
Wow.
is insane behavior. Only really, really rich people can get away with being that crazy.
yeah, he is a super crazy person and super rich. So it's a good combination.
Every Dallas Mavericks polo shirt worn by an employee comes equipped with an Apple tile, so
That's
they
right.
can track you. It's the heat sensors.
Yeah.
Also, if you're doing your job, you shouldn't be a part of the Wave. You
That's
gotta
right.
be focusing
But
in
if
on
it's-
different things. I don't
If
know.
it's your day off and you're at a game, what are you supposed to do? Sit down when
Not the
everyone
Wave,
around you is doing
Suzie.
the Wave?
Not the Wave.
I guess
Not
so.
the Dallas.
Well, we had something on our account that we recently retweeted. There was a Coors Field employee
I
who
saw
said,
that.
"You should put the kibosh on it."
I saw
was-
that, dude.
Awesome. That was awesome, though. I mean, I thought that was so funny where she's just yelling, there's no Wave in baseball. We need to track her down at some point.
The real question is, and this is on the tombstone, so I guess it is official, but is clockwise the direction of the Wave always?
No, it's no.
It,
I
it
feel
goes
like I've seen
anyway,
it-
right?
I've seen it go both ways this
I would think so.
season.
I think so. It's fluid, literally and
fluid.
figuratively. Wave,
It is fluid.
Wave.
Serving USA.
Serving USA, serving that Wave. Man, I'm gonna laugh so hard I could have a heart attack, which is probably fitting. So my tombstone, I decided, would say, good bowler, loved baseball.
Very simple.
Yeah.
Short and sweet. How good of a bowler are we talking, Patrick?
280. I was one strike away when I was
my
in high
gosh.
school. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple training sessions with some pros in the New Jersey area. New Jersey, hotbed for pro bowlers.
Is that
if you
right?
didn't know. Yeah,
didn't.
not San Diego, California, like most people think.
Mm.
It's actually New Jersey. But yeah, decided not to go down that route. Yeah, I mean, we've all seen Kingpin, and we know that life can be pretty hard.
I don't want
of a
that
pro
life for
bowler.
you, Patrick. I'm glad you chose baseball life
Yeah,
instead.
I did go away. Also, if we could go back and look at that tombstone, notice the year I was born, accurate, and also, I'm going to enjoy this final year of my life as 2023. I guess is going to be, I had a good run, guys. I had a good run. Man.
I didn't know you were this old. I am glad you made it to. Did you make it to six? Are you going to make it to 69 years old? Nice.
Do the math on that. Do the math.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right. This person's tombstone said, "Did not care for the Red Sox."
Yeah. This is on brand. Oh no, this is on brand for me. This is on brand
Yes.
for me. I don't like Boston sports in any sport, and it's personal. It's often irrational, but it's always present. It's a deep hatred and a deep exhaustion.
It's personal. I like that it's personal.
It is. Yeah. I don't. Go ahead.
You'd be happy to know that, when you pass away in the year 2100, at 105 years
I feel
old,
good about that. Yeah.
you will not have to see another Red Sox World Series championship. So that,
I can only hope. It's the year 4029. Tom Brady has finally died. Jason Tatum just retired, and the Red Sox have won a World Series.
That's it. I like that. Suzie, I have a feeling you want to read your own tombstone. You strike me as someone who would like record a video, for the will, and like, guys, thanks for showing up to my wake. I had a good life.
Sure.
Look at me down there. I'm just kidding. Like there's a screen over your coffin.
If I have the opportunity to record a hologram before I die for that purpose, I absolutely will. But my tombstone, I believe it would be appropriate if it said, "She died how she lived, totally unplanned."
Yep, that's good. And you have a good sense of humor for a 22-year-old who was born in 2000. Actually, no, you haven't hit a birthday yet this year, so you're 21.
Yes. I just turned 21. What a treat.
The only bummer too is because I feel like, it makes some sense the years that we die. You died at 68 years old. You didn't get your birthday that year, so that's a bummer. That's how I'm interpreting that tombstone. No,
that's not nice.
Well, I don't know. What if I died, New Year's Eve?
Yeah, no. How old would you have been? And then we need to get a calculator out to figure out on this graphic.
It depends on what time of year I died. If I died after my birthday in December, then yeah, I would be 69 years old.
Nice.
That's how years work.
That is how years work. Indeed. Well, we're feeling good. We've got some momentum. Last little bit. Gerardo Parra retired, now an assistant to the general manager with the Nationals. I don't know if anyone's got anything on that. Kyle Freeland, 0 ground ball outs today. First time in his career.
Whoa.
He talked about it after, and he's like, that's weird as hell. But yeah.
Very strange.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Kyle Freeland.
Yeah.
You did it. You proved it could be done.
You did it.
He did it. We're going to be doing it again this weekend. Next week, we'll catch up with Drew Goodman on Thursday at some point in the morning, depending on when you're listening to this. Make sure you're following us on Twitter at DNVR_Rockies. I'm at Patrick D. Lyons on Twitter.
I am at the Suzie Hunter on all platforms.
And I'm at Brendan Vogt on Twitter as well.
And if you're enjoying this as a podcast, make sure you're watching us over on YouTube so you can see what we all look like, where we're at, all of our backdrops, all of those wonderful things. Got to see the tombstones as well, and our 4-act play of the poor ball person down the left field line.
Poor guy. Poor fellow.
Got to go on DNVR Sports channel on YouTube to see all that, because you will gain a lot of momentum when it comes to that. We're going to gain a lot of momentum, but you know what they say? It's only as good momentum, that is, as your next show. So we'll talk to you then.